La 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 la.
And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. All right, I think that's going to look fine. Of course, now I'm going to straighten up. All right, I think that's going to look fine. Of course, now I'm going to straighten up. All right, I think I'm still in the camera. All right, so Twitch is good. Let's just double check the YouTube. All right, I think I'm still in the camera. All right, so Twitch is good. Let's just double check the YouTube. All right, YouTube is a go. Charles is a go. CS Bond in the house, baby. All right, I'm not sure I'm going to work on the rogue outfit today. I did want to work on when I actually started a couple of dresses. This one I'm going to call Dew Light, and I've kind of got it already done in Marvelous Designer and started bringing it into Daz. Well, it's in Daz, but we're doing some cleanup. And then we're going to work on, we're going to add buttons. Anyhow, I'll show the outfit real quick, and we'll shout out Charles first. CS Bond, baby. I hope you had a good day. Anyhow, this is a little, I don't know, kind of fairy inspired fantasy outfit, which consists of a dress and a belt. And I'm going to have an option for a short version, which actually in retrospect is probably too short, but that's okay. Yo, Farrell, I hear everything fine on YouTube and see everything. Excellent. There's a big lag in the sound. I'm not sure what to do about that. Lag in the sound. I'm not sure what to do about that. It's fine on... I'm not seeing the lag in the sound on YouTube on my browser. So I'm going to blame your encoders. It's YouTube's fault, and I don't think there's anything I can do. Yeah, so this is what we're working on. And thank you for that shout out for Farrell. I appreciate that, man. Because it's dynamic, I don't need to really clean the rigging up too much. Might be nothing can be done about it. Came across a new video about using OBS with YouTube. Okay. I mean, I use OBS with YouTube, and I'm hearing it fine. That's the problem, is if... I mean, I use OBS with YouTube, and I'm hearing it fine. You know, my lips are moving with my words. And which means I'm actually sending the signal out and getting it back from YouTube. So if there's an issue, so that's why I think I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's something weird with YouTube Studio. Anyhow, if you have any, yeah, the lag, yeah. Now there's always a delay. Now I know that I'm used to. and it's a little discording, or a little weird if you're actually on the Discord and watching the video. Oh, lag is reduced. Blame YouTube. That's it. Blame the YouTube. Hashtag blame you. Am I still blaming Shep or Ship? I just got to stop blaming Ship for everything. Anyhow, we're gonna do a little bit of cleanup on this, or maybe a lot of cleanup. I don't really have to have this rigged better, but we are going to clean it up anyhow. And I'm going to try not to be too loud because I realize my partner's still asleep. So I don't want to. So you see that? That's not good. We're going to fix that. But it's D-Force, so it really doesn't matter. I'm still going to fix it. We're still going to make this work a little bit better. So we're going to come over here to the Do Light Dress and expand that out. It's been popping in and out. Family coming on. Okay. Well, thanks for popping in. I always appreciate to see you, man. All right, we're going to touch this up. First things first, we're going to regroup this so that it aligns with the groups in here. So we're going to go over to the geometry editor and just clean this grouping up a little bit, because some of this is grouped with some of this. But we have a way to fix that. And I'm going to do this. I've already done this stuff for the Genesis 8 version. And what am we looking at over there? We're looking at the left side. So what I do is we're going to come to the left forearm.
Chris, pay attention.
What happens now, Charles? I saw that. I mentioned it. I said hi to Farrell. I thanked her for being here. Charles just likes that command. I think that's what it is. Forearms. So we're going to make sure that all of this is in the forearm group. So I'm going to hide that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to come in here and select a bunch of these. Assign it to the forearm. Hide that. I'm trying to make a solid connection through here. So we're going to take those and assign it to the forearm. Hide that again. I'm ignoring your post. Oh, wait. Sarah, yes, I told you right here. There's we can hide this part of it, and then it becomes this. We've got to show Charles the short version, so Sarah will be happy. There we go. Uh-oh. You can see her putty cat. Anyhow, there you go. So we will have a short version. That is in the plan. All right, that's looking good. I'm going to take this stuff and assign it to the forearm. Now we can do the thing. I'm going to switch back to this. We can control. Is it control? Uh-oh. I hit a button on my keyboard and the lights changed. There we go. We're going to assign all of this to the forearm. Hide that. All right, so that assignment is done. Next up is the left upper arm. So we're going to hide that. And then what I want to do is, I don't know, is that not, that looks like an island. I might be able to just select connected. Nope, there's a little, probably right in here. So we're going to kind of select some of this, assign it. Now am I an island? Now I'm an island. Okay. And we'll assign that to the upper arm. And I'll hide the upper arm. So that kind of improves that. Yo, Art, how are you doing? All right, so we've reassigned this stuff, so I can bring those back. We'll do the same thing over here on the other side. I'm going to move that arm up so we can have a visualization of how bad that's looking. Then what we're going to do is we're going to touch up the weight maps, so that'll move up with the rest of it. Yo, Axel, when you finish your model, where do you render it? Do you use Marmoset? I use DAZ Studio. This program right here. So I make content for DAZ Studio, so I render it in DAZ Studio. Oh, you got repairs to the maybe fake Stradivarius. So Daz Studio does okay, and a lot of people just use it to make pretty pictures. And I'll do a quick show off of some of the stuff I've rendered in Daz Studio. Here's my. Uh-oh, I heard music. Sorry. Are you in my Discord? Yeah, I'm gonna go to the gallery. Uh, I'm gonna scroll up to stuff I've done, and here we go. This is one of the promo pictures for an aerobics outfit I've submitted to Daz. Are you the open in browser? No. Which one of you is open in browser? You are. You're open in browser. There we go. Anyhow, I do my rendering in Daz Studio because I make content for people to use in Daz Studio. I haven't quite justified the need to get something like Marmoset. I've already overloaded with too much stuff to learn. With between Blender, Marvelous Designer, Substance, and Daz Studio. If I ever get a decent, a newer computer, I might look at Unreal Engine. Aquafoli said, Aquafoli said in the voice of Art's losing me. Anyhow, what am I doing? I'm fixing the rigging on here. I gotta regroup this stuff, so we're gonna fix that up. I'm gonna go back to my and we're gonna go back to, and I'm on the right side now, so we're gonna do the right forearm. So that stuff is already part of the right forearm, and the rest of this down here, I'm gonna want to assign to that. So I'm gonna do this in baby steps. We're gonna assign that part. I'm going to come back around through here and assign that. And now I've got this little, no wait, I've got a little spot right there I need to get. Got it. You just recently started VAS and can't figure out how to make hair? Ooh, making hair is tricky in Daz. I'm not even sure how to make hair in Daz. They do have and I have made fur, and it's a little tricky and it's kind of tedious. There's ways to get it if you do hair in Blender and you can export the curves out into Daz, but I don't know how to do that yet. What most people do is just purchase hair or find a hair products and just load those in to the scene instead of making your own. If you're making card-based hair in something like Blender, that should work fine. If you're trying to do the dynamic hair, strand-based hair, that's a little tricky. There's I'm gonna finish this selection and then I'm gonna take a quick look at strand-based hair. I'm losing track of what I'm doing here. I'm gonna sign that, hide it. Now I've got my little island here, so now I can select connected, assign that, hide it, looking good. I'm gonna do a quick detour here. Let me just plop a plane in here. Create new primitive. You know what? I'm just going to drop a cylinder in here. No, my cylinder's too thin. Never mind. Create new primitive. Let's just drop a sphere in here. How big's my sphere? My sphere's small. We'll make my sphere bigger. There we go. We got a sphere. I'm going to hide my Genesis for a minute. All right, we're going to put you away. I'm going to select the sphere here. So it is create. I've done this a few times and I always kind of forget how it's done because I don't do it a lot. New strand based hair right there. And I'm just going to go with the defaults, and then it brings up this thing. And then we can come over here, and what we want to do is where you paint is where hair goes in. I'm just going to fill it all white, so I'm going to put hair on this whole thing. But if you don't do that, you can just paint in where you want to put your hair. And this is just the real basic. You'll probably never want to do it this way. Distribute over here. D-Force hair is not available to the general public. D-Force clothes is I've got D-Force on the outfit I'm working on. So anyhow, I've got my hair. We can adjust our density. I forget, where's the length on this? I always forget where the length is. Style, can I just make it longer in here? Maybe, maybe not. Clumping, tweaking. I think it was in here somewhere. Density, seed, width, color. Nope, that's not it. Is it in style? I don't remember. Segment length. Maybe that's. Nope, that's not it. That's it. Is it in clumping? I don't think so. Is it in tweaking? I think we can adjust the length in tweaking, right? Random length. I forget. There's tutorials on YouTube on this. And then when you're done with this, you can accept it and you got hair. But you can't see it here. You have to actually kind of render it to see the hair. You could set up your viewport, but it'll block it down. I think it's called D-Force, but you can't head your. I bought CC4 with the extra tool, but it wasn't really a good workflow. Okay, it depends on what your workflow. Where are you ending up wanting to? What are you wanting to do? I think is what it comes down to. If you want to make pretty pictures, you can do that with Daz, especially if you got a big wallet and want to buy lots of content. Buy my stuff. Buy my stuff. I'm sorry. You can render in Daz, but it's not the best thing to be rendering with. I have a friend who does uses Daz content but puts it all into Blender and renders out that. Anywho, there's my janky ass hairball. There's a lot of stuff to do on this. If you look up strand based hair on YouTube, you can probably find better instructions. And I'm probably going to have to reread that. Anywho, I'm going to stop playing with that. And we're going to go back to our dress. The dress actually has D-Force on it. And it's just basically a simulatable. I've got part of it hidden. Let me bring that back and I can just run the sim real quick. I don't really need to be rigging this, but it just looks a little bit better when you're working with it before simulating. And my brain has stopped. Where am I? There we go. I want to select my dress. Which one did you use my dress? Near my dress. There we are. I'm going to unhide that. I'm going to just run a simulation real quick. I've got the belt and the dress set to simulate here. And getting D-Force on the clothes is relatively simple. If you have clothes that's made for D-Force. If you have clothes that isn't really designed for D-Force, you'll often just see it falling apart because it has unwelded seams and things. So you need stuff like welded seams and other tricks. Simulation settings. So the basics for D-Force is D-Force, add a D-Force modifier. Right here's the basic one. And then after that, it adds D-Force settings to the materials. And then you can tweak these to get different functionality out of your D-Force. That's the real quick and dirty. There's also YouTube videos, I'm sure, on this. I'm sure WP Guru, a good friend of ours, has tons of tutorials on Daz, aka Jay. So there's a lot of tutorials. You know me, always quoting movies. At no wonder I'm confused. Anyhow, what am I doing? I'm regrouping a sleeve, and then I'm going to re-rig it so that it works better. Because this is deforced, I really don't have to do that, but it will just look a little bit nicer when you're working with it so that it doesn't look so goofy. It's still going to look goofy, but not as goofy. Anyhow, back to this. Back to my tool settings. I am going to work on, I'm going to hide the forearm, the right forearm. I'm going to hide the right upper arm. And then what I want to do is I want to take this stuff and add that to the right upper arm. And I think that looks like an island, so I can just do a select by connected with that and then assign it to that, and it should be good. All right, so that's the basics for that. I'm going to bring these back in. All right, we're going to adjust the weight maps so that these will follow a little bit better. There's my weight map brush. I'm going to expand out the dress so we can see the different parts. We're going to start with we're going to take a look at the hands and see if I really don't need hands influencing anything. So if there is anything in there, we're going to clear it out. And I think for that, I'm just going to select all the geometry to begin with. I'm going to collapse the pelvis. We're going to go down the spine. I am in the dress. We are looking down the left hand and general weights. See, I got a little bit of a touch up there. I'm going to smooth that selection and then delete it. There's a little quirk in Daz that I can't edit anything that's at 100%. So if the weight value is 100%, I can't touch it. So what I do is I can run a smooth on it, and then that decreases it smooths it out, and it makes it no longer 100. And then I can do edit weight fill selection 0, and we remove the weight from that. And then we'll come over and, you know what, I probably didn't want to, it'll probably be okay. It did it weird on the whole thing. Can I undo that? I think I am going to undo that. Can I just smooth you out and then delete you? I'm going to set that strength to the 1. That's better. I can do that. I like that better. All right. Let's go check the right hand over here. I'll do the same thing. Have I got the right tool? I've got the wrong tool. That's better. Let's check the back side. Recently, Daz, to make my character next, used Z-Wrap. Oh, I've heard about people use Z-Wrap. I take that as Marvel's designer with Substance Painter. I like running. I can understand wanting to render in Blender. Although Cycles is a bit slow. Did it get faster with the latest versions? I have to say, because I'm making content for Daz, I tend to render in Daz. Although I have rendered occasionally in Blender when I'm working in Blender. And my brain has stopped. We're doing weight maps. Okay, we're going to move on to the, not that, right upper arm. I think I want to come down to right forearm twist, and we're going to touch this up. I think that'll do what I want it to do. I'm going to put you back to about 50. And is that, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. I'm going to set that to 1. We're going to touch it up. Rodney Hardwood. Oh, here one of the book idiots is. That's right. It's just called respect, man. That's right. We're chlorinating the water. Or is it fluoridating? We're fluoridating the water to turn your children gay. That's it. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Is that what I wanted there? All right, what was I doing? What did I got here? Oh, for crying out loud! What did I touch? Apparently, I launched Acrobat. All right, what are we doing? We're smoothing this out. We're touching this up. We're going to use the smooth brush and do that. You know what? I think that's the first person I might have banned on YouTube. Anyhow, that's what we're so. So that looks nicer. I'm happier with that. It's not a great conforming figure, but it certainly looks a lot better than the other side. So we're going to touch up the other side. So we just want to go over to the, I think the left forearm twist and just touch it up the same way. We'll just do that. Try to get this all up here, and then we'll smooth it out a little bit and go on from there. Hey, Jay's Ko-Fi. Oh, Jay's streaming today. All right. I showed his link once. Let's just show it again in case anybody missed it. And I don't know, is he going to be on Twitch and YouTube? Anyhow, there it is, Twitch and YouTube. Jay's got a Ko-Fi too. Feel free to support Jay. All right, are we doing well here? I think this is it. I think this is what I wanted to do. I'm going to zero this out. We're going to save the dress. Next up, I'm going to remove morphs from the sleeves. So we're going to go through that and clean that up. And I need to add buttons, and we're going to do textures today. So this belt is actually going to have a couple of buttons, 4 buttons actually. Perhaps we can rate him. Yeah, if that works out. Did he say what time? Because you know I quit at 4. If Jay's on, we definitely are going to rate Jay. All right. All right, I'm going to zero this out. Control Shift. Add 4. Add 4. Okay, we'll see if we can. We'll see how things are going. Control Shift F. So we restore our figure. What I'm going to do. Cycle still Slux. You want to use Houdini. I gotta say, I haven't used any Houdini. Does Marmoset also do rendering, or am I thinking of maybe it was Marmoset? I had a friend who talked about it does baking and rendering. I just couldn't quite justify spending money on something else that I'm not really going to use. I actually downloaded the demo and never got around to touching it. All right, we're gonna go through here. We're gonna dial in morphs. We're gonna see kind of where they're affecting the sleeves, and then we're gonna subtract those out from the sleeves. So I'm gonna end up marking a area on the sleeves that we can then use to remove the morphs that are on the body that we don't want hitting the sleeves. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm remembering I'm on this laptop. Oh no, 8 gigs of solid. But it has all your passwords. You got a way to get your passwords off, or it's all locked in a little box you can't read? I'm sure Google would be more than happy to give your passwords away for you. I'm going to select this. I'm going to come over here to favorites. You know what? These breast morphs, even if they do change the sleeves, I think that's going to be okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. I'm going to load this in. I'm going to load in some starter body morphs in here. And then we're going to clean it up. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll move on to adding the buttons to the belt. No, not Google. Yeah, Google. What is it? It's the new term is enshittification. Is that it? Which is definitely what happened to Google. Or basically anything that becomes popular, right? Okay, let's save the dress. I'm going to add a bunch of starter body morphs in it using a cheat file. So here, save dress. That says Genesis 8. We don't want to overwrite that one. We want to overwrite the Genesis 9. I want to say yes. And I think that all looks good. Marmoset does both rendering and texture baking. You know what? I kind of like Substance too. We'll get to Substance later today. It makes texturing so much easier than Photoshop. The ability to find cool surf or cool materials and just drag and drop as your starting point is just so speeds up texturing things. Okay, I'm going to save this file save as, because I don't want to overwrite my startup file. I'm going to call you whip2, I think. I probably don't need whip1 anymore, but I'm just going to say whip2. All right, now we're going to do file open. I am looking for I'm in projects. I need to be in promos. Promos, there we go. I'm looking for this cheat file right here. Add basic morphs. This is just a quick way for me to just get starter morphs into clothes. Although I don't really know if I need it or not. I should have paid more attention. Those big breasts didn't look quite right. So what I have here is a file with invisible figures in here. And the way Daz works is if you put something on a figure and it auto follows, if there's not a morph in it in the clothing item, when you dial a morph up inside the character, it will automatically project it onto the clothes. So I'm basically going to do that. project the basic body shapes from a starter object or starter figure I have. And I've already added my adjustments. And I'm sure I'm not explaining that in any way anybody with half a brain could follow. Anybody with a full brain would be completely lost. Okay. I don't need that. I wasn't supposed to save it. We're going to get rid of you. Which one are you? Let's do that. And I don't need that. Those are left over. So I have this Genesis 9 dress figure. If I load my Genesis 9 dress into here, and then if I fit this to that, it'll automatically add all the morphs that are in here to that. But I want to just double check. If I had these morphs already generated, they might not regenerate. So I'm going to go into the data file and delete a bunch of stuff out, then load this in so that these projection morphs will get added. And this makes for really exciting streaming content. I realize that. Where am I? There's my whip folder. There's my data folder. Let's do this. So the data folder in DAZ is where we hide all our morphs and things. Our geometries are in here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. That's the dress I'm going to work on right now. So going to come in here. I think the geometry is in here somewhere. Actually, can I even open that up? I don't think so. I think it's encoded. Oh, no, it's not encoded. But anyhow, it's a... There it is. And there's the geometry. I think that's just basically an OBJ format stuck inside of a... Oh, what is it, JSON or something? I have no idea. Anywho, we're cleaning up the morph files. My morph files are saved over here. I want to keep those because those are okay, I think. Those I don't care about. Those are characters that I don't play with. I'm going to redo these body morphs here, so I'm going to delete these out. Emaciated, fitness, detail, lithe, older, pair, portly, stocky, thin, tone, voluptuous. And then I want to also clean out these breast morphs so that they get regenerated. At least that's the plan. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to cut them and move them someplace. Also, I'm going to get these pectoral morphs. I'm just going to stick these right out here for now. If I'm really unhappy with how this goes, I can just grab these back again, I suppose. Anyhow, what are we doing? I'm getting those pectoral morphs, and I don't really need... A lot of this stuff regenerate automatically. Mass body. I do need mass body. And all these pectoral morphs I don't want those proportional, and I'm going to cut those. So I'm going to regenerate these. I think the rest of this is good. And then there's just, oh no, I'm going to take these controls out. That's for the control that dials the 2 fitness morphs, and then there's a one for muscular for the 2 muscular morphs. I'm just going to hide these over here as well, just in case I change my mind and decide I want them back. Okay, so now I'm going to, my dress has been loaded. No, not yet. I'm going to load my dress in. There it is. Okay, so this should have loaded in without those body morphs. If I do actor, am I in the right thing? Where's my adjustments? I don't see my adjustment morphs in here either. And they were right there. DAZ is being funky again. You know what? I'm just going to delete those out too and regenerate them. One question. If you buy a DAZ 9 character model, can you morph 2 character? Yeah, I mean, morphing's just spinning a dial. But it depends on how the shapes are. So you can dial from 1 to 100. I would, actually, I can kind of show this. Hold on. I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to regenerate them. And then I'm going to bring my dress in. And I actually have a Genesis 9 hiding in here. So if you have your character morph, in the case of General Unspin, we're just, where is it? If we come looking over here, I've got the head selected. Let me go to the body. And we're going to go to people and feminine and real world. Nope, I'm not seeing. Don't I have characters in here somewhere? Here we go. Daz, if you're buying stuff at Daz requires that the head morph be split from the body morph. So somewhere in here I should have head morphs. Maybe not. Oh no, these are the big morphs. So like here, Gianni, I dial that, it changes the shape. No, that's just the body. Never mind. Where's the head? The head's probably down in here, right? Feminine people. There we go. So if you buy a character, you can dial in the head morph like so. If you have another character, you can kind of mix and match. Of course, just piling all of this stuff up is going to get weird fast, right? So if you want to mix and match, you're probably just going to, maybe do half of one and half of another. To kind of get the look you're looking for. I don't know if that made any sense. So I think the question, if you buy, can I morph two characters? And if you wanted to do two characters, I mean, you can just have two figures in here and dial their morphs up the same way. I'm not sure I'm understanding the question though. Anyhow, I'm going to take, did I load my dress in here? I don't see it. What the hell? You're really into trying to emphasize the Daz character's cheekbone and use ZBrush. You couldn't figure out how to do it in Daz. It might be easier. If you've bought like basic packs, it might come with parts that'll allow you to adjust cheekbones and things. But if you're good with ZBrush, you may be better off just using that. So, I mean, in the instance here, we're just going to go to the head. And we're over here. Where am I? I'm lost. Is it in pose controls? No. I can't see it in here. Is it in... Organizing stuff is a pain in the ass. Actor, head. There we go, head. You got parts. Do I get parts of the head? Face. Cheekbones. I don't know if you have any add-ons like this. Let me adjust this so we can see more of that window. Oh, did I don't know if you can see any of this. I wish I could make Daz fonts larger. I really need larger fonts in Daz. But anyhow, I'm not sure what pack this came with. Let me see if I can get a clue. This might be... I'm looking at the parameters just to kind of see maybe where did you come from. Genesis 9 base morphs, base. Daz 3D head. I think these are, if you get the head expansions for Genesis 9, you should have a whole bunch of little morphs in here. Where you can adjust the chin, the jaw. I think there's cheek. Problem is finding the thing that does what you actually want it to do. You can sit here going, well, I want to improve the cheekbone size or whatever, and you do that and you go, that's not quite what I wanted. So, maybe, do you also use textures? You also used. I'm not sure what XYZ skins are. I'm sorry. I don't actually texture characters. I do texture the clothes. Um, is that a product or something or a tool? XYZ? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the term, which happens a lot. Anyhow, I'm going to get those. I'm going to project the morphs from this dress here into the dress I'm working on. So to do that, I'm just going to take this and fit it to the generic dress of mine. Have you used Go Z with ZBrush and Daz? I have to say that's positively brilliant. It has sped up my ability to clean up morphs immensely. And my brain has stopped. What am I doing? I'm fitting. I'm going to go here. I'm going to fit to this G9 dress right here. And then when I do that, it projects all of those morphs into my dress. And then I'm just going to save those out as a modified asset. And that gives me my starter morphs. I think mine are a little bit better than what it does when it automatically does the transfer tool for starter morphs. Anyhow, that should be good. I'm going to accept that. I have accidentally saved stuff in this folder here, so I'm going to clean it up and then resave it. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to rehide. I'm going to memorize this in case I screw it up. No, I'm just going to rehide. There we go. And then I'm just going to resave. So I'm going to, that's a utility file of mine. So I'm going to go back to just a regular, I'm going to reopen my WIP file. No, I'm not. I'm just going to say new. We'll just do that from new. I'm going to do this for a few more minutes and then we're going to switch over to texturing. And then a little bit later, I'm going to model some buttons in Blender. Add those to the belt. So my plan is to load the dress in, run through my morphs, and see which ones I kind of have to clean up off the sleeves. I'm going to do, and then later on, I will probably clean the morphs up with ZBrush, but not today. Okay, let's load in a Genesis 9. And then I got to do this for Genesis 8. I'll do that later on. All right, we're going to drop the dress on here because we're working on the dress. I have favorites set up in this figure, so it makes it easier for me to find my morphs. That's just, and then I resaved the figure with the favorites. Any Daz morphs? You know, the only ones I think I have are the basic ones. And then whatever comes with characters I picked up over time. Hold on, we're going shopping at Daz. Steal. Can I say G9 morphs? Does that work? Let's do my new arrivals and we'll go to the end of the list. So the base packs should be back at the end, right? Considering that they were probably, there they are. Starter Essentials. I don't know what comes in Starter Essentials anymore. I think those are, oh, Starter Essentials expansion. That's probably a lot of the basic morphs. Maybe not. Is that eyelash? Is that just eyelashes? What is in here? Eyebrows, eyelashes. It's been a few years since I've looked at this stuff, so wait a minute. I saw something in. Let's go back one. And we'll scroll to the bottom and work our way back up. Head shapes, there we go. Probably, and here, these are probably the essential ones here. Expressions, head shapes, and body shapes is what I'm thinking. This is basically like pose files for faces. This, I think, this has got all those cheeks and things in it, I believe. So this is all the morphs. This is listing all the adjustment morphs for the various eyes, brows, cheek and jaw, head, face, nose, yada, yada, yada. And then you have one for body shapes. And I think these are, as you can see, I have purchased these. These are basically the ones I purchased. I don't pick up a lot of other ones. And look at that, $5 or $4.50. So if you don't have them, they don't hurt too much to pick up. That one's even less. I may be impounding a bunch of discounts in here too, but still. Those are kind of the essential ones, I would say. Anyhow, yep, those are probably the only ones I've really picked up. I may have inadvertently picked up others, but I don't recall seeing other. And there, other people do make morphs, and if you're really into breasts and things, there's add-on packs for those. Anyhow, here's my favorites character. I'm going to go to parameters. I'm going to go to favorites because I have you already set up with all the morphs that I want to make sure that I add to clothes. And we're just going to come in here and I'm just going to, so these will probably need to be touched up in ZBrush. So when I do that, and you can kind of see how it pinches into the clothes, I would touch that up in ZBrush. But I'm not, that would just be a ZBrush touch up. I think all the breasts are, I think I want to remove that one. What I'm going to do is, oh, these are already marked as, actually they're marked as favorites here. I should probably make a list and check it twice. How do I want to do this? Because I want to do breast large. I need a way to note this. You know what I'm going to do? Here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to use my morph file, and we're just going to copy and paste. I'm just going to add stuff to a folder that says use this morph or something like that. So right here, I'm going to just make a new folder. And whatever I drop into here are the morphs I'm going to clean up. And I'm just going to make a copy of that. Open that in a new window so I can see that. I'm going to put that over there where you can't see it. And I'm going to just come back over here. And over here, and that was breast large. So I'm just going to come here and put a copy of that over into the other folder so I can keep track of what I'm doing. All right, so I wanted to do breast large. I want to do breast large high. Breast large high, put a copy of that over there. I think breast natural. Yeah, let's do breast natural too. Maybe I should just do all the breasts. Copy here. You know what? It doesn't hurt to do all the breasts. I'm going to stop that. Let's take a look at our body shapes. And I'm going to do all the emaciated. What I'm looking at is weird stuff going on down here. You know what? I could probably... Did that change the whole body? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth that out in ZBrush later on. Body fitness. You know what? That one doesn't need to be cleaned up. So I do want emaciated. I'm going to put that over there. Fitness, the fitnesses looked fine. Body heavy. You can see how badly that deformed that. I'm still probably... I'm totally going to need to touch that up, and because Yeah, definitely need a breast heavy, or the heavy. Oh, copy that over there. All right, where was I? Lith. I probably would just clean that one up in ZBrush. Muscular. I'm thinking it's, muscular details is probably okay. It's probably the muscular mass. I'm going to clear the muscular mass off of that. Body older. You know what? That looks okay. Body thin. Probably fine just doing it with ZBrush. Tone. Mass. Maybe I'll just do mass with ZBrush later on. Pair. Oh, that's definitely needs some. We'll clean that one up. This is all going to do that. Voluptuous. Portly. How about stocky? Yep, probably will need those. Portly and stocky. All right. Let me see how this works now. All right, I'm going to come in here and select part of the sleeves, and then we're going to remove that part from the morphs I want to do. So I'm going to mark morphs in here as favorites. And you know what? I'm also going to remove a bunch of stuff. I'm going to remove, I'm in edit mode. I'm going to get out of edit mode. I'm going to mark chest forward, chest lower, chest top, chest upper, chest width, adjust neck. Probably doesn't do anything anyhow. I don't need the sleeves to adjust rear. Shoulder depth is probably good. Skirt back, we'll get rid of anything from that. Skirt left, maybe, maybe not. How does that work? Do I want to adjust that so it's cleaner? Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm going to remove that. Skirt left, skirt right. Torso back, torso front, torso left. Everything that I'm marking here will get removed from impacting the sleeves when I select that. Torso right. Flare skirt. Definitely don't need flare skirt in the sleeves. Loose ankles. I'm going to just delete that one totally. It doesn't make any difference. That morph's going to die. I think. What's loose in chest do? You know what? Loose in chest is probably be fine. And then these I kind of want to keep, although I might clean them up. I don't need that midriff. I don't know if that neck is actually doing anything. I could probably just get rid of it. Skirt above the knee. I don't need that in the sleeves. Skirt below the knee. Probably don't need skirt mini. Don't need sleeve short. It's fine. Waist lower. We'll get rid of that. Waist upper. I wonder if there's an easy way to loosen wrists. How are you looking? That's probably okay. And expand, which is perfectly fine, except it doesn't impact this. I'm probably going to put a push modifier on here and save that as my expand. Okay, and then I am looking for body heavy, which we can't see. Oh, we're going to get all the breast morphs, right? Oh, I still have the cleavage dialed in. I wish I could see these better. These are the hidden morphs. I have tried changing my text colors, but it always screws up something else. A rocket scientist at DAS decided that having text colors also mapped to background colors, just in different spots, was a good idea. I think Daz is so old that when they did this, there was probably limitations on how many colors you could use on the interface, which is probably the real reason why you change a text color, you end up changing a background color somewhere that you didn't want to change. So I'm just going to grab all of these breast morphs, mark them as favorites. I wonder if it's an easy way to unmark favorites. Probably not. Maybe. Oh, actually, you know what? There probably is an editing mode. In edit mode, I can probably select a bunch of dials and unfavorite them at once. Excellent. We'll do that later. Oops. Where was I? I was over here in the actor. We were going through the breast morphs. You know what? I could probably do this in edit mode. Now that I think about it, we can probably just like breast, 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 pectoral, 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 emaciated. Nope. Fitness was fine. Fitness mass is fine. Body heavy. Yep. So I think I can do favorites. Add selected properties to favorites. There we go. That's so much easier than what I was just doing. That's fine. That's fine. We did want to do muscular mass. Pair, I think was the next. What I got? Pair, portly, stocky, voluptuous, and yeah, okay. I can't find it. There's pair, there's voluptuous, there's portly, and there's stocky. Okay, we're going to add those to favorites. All right, now I'm going to select the parts of the sleeves I want to remove from this. I'm going to kind of come through here. We're going to go over to the geometry editor for that. Go over to the tool settings, and we need to do this in vertex selection mode. And I'm going to use one of the lasso tool, I think. Where is that? Is that up here? Selection mode, lasso. So can I just do that through there? Did that go through the back? I hope it did. Yes, it's selected through the back. Yo, Napsmore, how are you doing? All right, let's add this to that. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to hit save. File save as. I'm saving another whip. That's right. Because we're paranoid that way. In case I screw something up right here. This is one of those things that's undoable. I think. Hey, everybody, check out Napsmore. They stream on Twitch. I think it's Creeble Space Program or something like that. I don't think I made the Napsmore command yet, though, did I? Not yet. Someday. Someday we will have a Napsmore command. Save early, save often, right? The work you save will be your own. All right. So we're going to remove these. Morph editing. Clear selected deltas from favorites. This is the reason why I marked all those things as favorites. So I have my selected deltas. I got my things that I want. I want these to not be affected by the morphs we selected. So we're going to do that. And it did its thing. And now when we do heavy, we'll probably watch this push into that. Kerbal Space Pro. I can never get that right. There's a shout out. All right, let's go check our morphs and see how it's going. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to come back up here to my favorites. And I'm just going to go straight to the big morph, am I in the right thing? Oh, that's right. No, I didn't mark these as favorites. Your marked as favorites down here. Oh, you know what it is? There we go. Oh, it's because it's part of the selection now. Anyhow, let's watch the that did it. That's about right. And these aren't changing the sleeves anymore, are they? I gotta touch that up with ZBrush. That'll come along. I need a sound effect like snoring. I was gonna look at the heavy morph. So the towel is to watch this and watch that not move. That's what it's supposed to do. Hey, look at that. I got a little bit of a weirdness up in here because there's heaviness still on the arms. But you know, I'm going to clean this up in ZBrush anyhow. So this is a better start. So I'm going to save. So I'm going to unfavorite all the stuff in the dress. And then we're going to save it. And that's what I wanted to do with this for now. Then we're going to play with doing textures for a little while. Oh, for naps more. Oh, I get it now. I keep forgetting that that's like the origin of the name. At least I think that's the origin of the name. Control Shift F. I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to reset that. I'm going to clear my selection. Actually, I'm going to save this as a because I have the sneaking suspicion I might need this later on. So I'm going to save this as a selection set. Undersleeve, we'll call it that. And accept that. And now I have this selection set. So when I clear this, actually can I just subtract? No, that's not doing what it's supposed to do. Why did that not do anything? Do I have to add? Oh, I have to add assign selected to selection set. There we go. Then I can subtract. Can I clear my selection? There we go. I've got it set up now. I remember what I'm doing. Anyhow, we can add our selection set back, and then we can subtract it, and we're good to go. All right, I'm going to save my dress. I'm going to actually do it twice because I don't trust the Daz. I'm going to overwrite it. I'm going to save it like that. It should be good. And because Daz is weird, I'm just going to explicitly save the morphs like that. Do I have a bib over the keyboard? I could use a bib over the keyboard, but no, I don't. I sit so far back from the keyboard, I usually don't get food that far. There's a little bit of space between me and the keyboard. Oh, your Napsmore needs a bib for his computer. You know what? We'll do that. I'll see if I can find a snoring sound and we'll make a custom Napsmore command. And if you have other links besides Twitch, let me know and I'll try to include it into the custom Napsmore command. I think I'm good. I think I want to do texturing now. Let's bring my belt back in. I have a starter texture on here. And I've started texturing this. All right, it's time for Substance Painter. Activate Substance Painter. I still have some VRAM free, so should be okay. I've been evil and I'm starting to use AK textures. Sorry. There we go. Substance Painter. I have started this already. Um, that one right there, Do Light. I'll just do a quick tour of what I've got set up over here. And I'm going to hide the wireframe. I don't need to see that right now. You generally nod off, head against the headrest or chin to chest. don't generally drool yet. Okay, so what we've got going on here is we have a leather texture here, which I've made white. We have, so I have a white set here. I have a black set here. And currently what I have is I have a fabric, which is the main fabric, and I'm using a linen for that. I have this leather calf grain, which I'm using over here on the belt. Moving up, I have this little highlights and shadows, which adds a little extra contour. It's really subtle, though. On black, if I dial that in, it comes in a little too strong, but I know it adds just a little extra to it, just a little touch of, it's even so subtle you can barely even see it. What are you? Oh, this is the normal and bump map for that. I think that's a normal and a bump map. I think I was doing both. I want to double check. Do I see a normal map? I do see a normal map. I don't have a normal map down here though. I need a normal map down here. We're going to go back to fabric linen, and I'm going to set that up so that either it makes a normal map or we'll have it generate one. I think there we go. Now I've got a normal map for that. Anywho, this is, what do I call that? Puckering. This is puckering. I should label that. That's a layer of puckering. Then I have a layer of stitches. It's currently just on the belt. I don't think I'm going to put stitches on the main dress, but I do have really cool looking stitches on the belt. Like so. And also, is that on the, oh, and I have my buttonholes on the stitching layer as well. And I have this perceptive layer here, so I can change the color of my stitches by using a hue saturation adjustment filter. So that's what I've got set up right now. Also, I have my generic dirt. Oh, no, that's my generic tatters. So if we switch to opacity, that's where my tatter map will come from. Although, this is a new feature that you can add edge wear with a path tool, but the path tool only works in the 3D window, which means I can't really use it down here because of all my folds. So I'm still going to have to go into Photoshop and add edge wear to these edges. And also there's there's going to be a short version, so I'll need to add a edge wear opacity map for that as well. And also, so that's the edge wear, but I don't need that. Where do you come from? Oh, you're in my edge wear. What the hell are you doing in? Did I accidentally? I think I accidentally did something. I was playing with stuff. I don't need you. And also there's my dirt. That's my quick way of adding dirt. Is I have a set of materials in here that makes it look dirty. Anyhow, that's where we're picking up. We're going to work a few of these. So I have the basic set up, so we're just going to save out a bunch of colors. Also, I want to add some trim onto the sleeves and onto the hem. The long hem. The short hem's not going to... Yeah, the short hem's not going to get trim. Because I don't want to... I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Anyhow, let's hide the that. And I just picked up some brushes on ArtStation, so we're going to install those and use them a little bit. Anyhow, where are we at? Does that look black? I think I already saved out my black mask, though. I'm going to put black... actually, I'm thinking what I want the generic. I think I want the generic to be a muted green with a brown belt. I think that's going to be the hero texture here. So let's make some copies of this. I'm going to plot this out. Duplicate layer. I think this will be green. I'm going to duplicate layer on there. I'm going to want a red. Do I have one for brown already? I don't think I... Actually, I do. You're going to be my brown. Let's group those two together and make it a brown. Or I don't know what those are. Because I think this is also a brown. It helps if you label things. just saying. All right. I don't think my brown has it. I think my brown's just turned off. Let's take a look. That is my brown. I'm going to tweak the stitch color to be... It's kind of a red now. Let's adjust that. That's actually not too bad. I'm going to do that, and we're going to desaturate that a little bit. And I think that'll work for the brown. And then I'm going to save this out as a brown texture. And I just redid the normal map, so we're going to overwrite the main channels. I think the opacity map's good, so I'm just going to use that one. I'm exporting at 4K. I want to cancel. Yes, I want to do 4K. That's right. I want to do 4K for this. Never mind. There we go. Let's open up our output directory, see what we got. Okay, I already have a good metallic map. It's black, so I might add something that'll change that, so I think I'm going to leave that. I don't need that, and I don't need that, because we already have copies of those. No, I do need the normal map. Never mind. I don't need these maps, because I already have good versions of that, and that one I need to call brown. Okay. Brown is done. So I'm going to collapse that, close it, open up this one, and I'm going to name you brown, so I know you're brown. I do want a tan, so we're back over to here. So we'll bring those back up. Let's set this up to be tan. So I have to color a couple of things in here. I'm going to set that to be, you know what, I'm going to go, we're going to go to, maybe khaki, no, tan color. We're looking for, there we go. I'm going to use that. I think that looks good. I'm going to put this on screen too. And then what I can do is come over here and sample that like so. And then I'm also going to do, we're going to do this, but we're just going to alter the color a little bit. And do I want to just make that a little bit darker maybe? For a little color variation? Okay, then we'll do the same thing for the leather. So that's good. So we're going to come over here to the base on the leather. I'm going to sample that tan over on screen too. And then I'm going to adjust the thread color to be more in lines with what we got here. And then we're going to save that as a base color for tan. Where am I at? Stitches, there we go. Stitches right there. All right. It helps if I saturate it all the way, and I think if I tweak the lightness up so I can kind of see. I think I'm going to lean you a little more like that. Desaturate you a bit like that, and maybe somewhere in there. Maybe a little on the darker side, a little darker than, I think I'll go with that. And I know I only just need the base color, so we'll switch over to a base color template like that. And export that. And pop back over to here and name that one tan. So I got my black, I got my tan, I got my brown. Now I'm going to do a green, red, blue, and maybe a pale yellow. I'm going to label that so I know what it is. All right, so I have a green, I have a red. You know what? I'm just going to duplicate both of these. There's a shortcut key for that I never use. Blue. And yellow. We're also going to put some patterns in here later. And I do want to put some design around the hems and the sleeve cuffs. Anyhow, I do want, actually these ones I want to put my trim on, so we're not going to export these just yet. So green, we're going to start over here. I'm just going to go, do I want to slide you a little bit more that way? And maybe in there. And of course I can't see. And then what I'm going to do is, and then we'll just use a slightly darker variation of that. And I want to, you know, I'm going to copy that web number there. And we can pop over and update the base on the leather to match that. I'm not going to touch the stitching right now. We're just tweaking the colors. Okay, and then we'll set up the red. Chris likes a dark ox blood red, so we're going to go with that. We'll start with this. This one I can just eyeball because I'm just going to drag that all the way up to red. Put one there. Set the other one into here, maybe a little brighter. And then change that to be the same. Bring that all the way up to there and put you down in about here somewhere. That'll be the red. We're going to do blue. I'm thinking, I'm leaning towards this kind of a little desaturated blue today. And I don't know where that was. Oh, that's still the leather. Okay. That's my problem. Maybe a little lighter. Yep, I think I'm going to go with that. Do that. You're somewhere about in there. Maybe make you a little bit darker looking than the and yellow is going to be kind of a cream, light yellow, somewhere in there, I think. Maybe like that. And we'll set that up to be kind of like that, but a touch darker. Okay, so those colors are set up. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Oops, what was that? So here's what I just picked up. These dynamic ornament brushes. We're going to use one of these. Had some sort of a cool floral design that I wanted to use. Note to self, do not use Carnival Cruise Petri dish or Popple Cruise. Dang. What am I doing? Oh, I'm gonna do the thing. Oh no. The cool brush requires the 3D brush. Damn you. I'm probably going to have to manually. I'm probably going to do part of it in here and then maybe the rest in Photoshop. I think the tricky part's going to be this corner in here. Well, actually, that corner there. Let me try something here. I'm going to reshape. I'm going to get a version of this where it's flattened out more. I think we'll try that and see if I can line up and use masks for lining these up better. Because my problem is this pen tool doesn't like to go around these curves. So maybe if we go in the Marvelous Designer, if I strengthen that up and it flattens out nicely, we can use that to paint on these edges. That's what I'm thinking. You can already see how I've kind of got the belt and the dress split apart. And the dress is kind of smoothed out a bit already. Oh, excuse me. Anyhow, we've got Marvelous Designer launching up over on screen too. You know what? I might just save this as a morph for the outfit too. We might just load that in. Maybe just call it smooth. Uh, File, open project. I'm gonna do a version of this one here. And you know what? I'm gonna hide the belt. We'll deactivate that and I'll go ahead and hide it. Select all of this. I'm going to hit H to strengthen it. And we're going to do that. And see if I can get it to kind of smooth out a bit. Are you posable? I might be able to move those arms up. I think I completely forgot how to manipulate it. I'm pretty sure that's rigged. So I can bend the arms out of the way. I don't really want to do that though. Can I? See, if I get this smoother, I might be able to draw across it. If I turn gravity off, does that help? Or if we reverse gravity even? Oh, that totally makes a difference. Okay. I'm going to take a copy of this, save that out, load it up in a separate substance file. Then I can get my trim painted on here. And honestly, all I really need is the that, and these. So clever me might just save this stuff out. I think I'm going to do the whole thing though. We'll just save the whole thing. File, export, OBJ selected. I'm going to put this into the substance folder. This will be dress smooth. We'll do that. Save that. And thin and welded. Because why is it stopped automatically selecting those? I don't know. All right. I'm going to just put Marvelous Designer away for a minute. So we're going to save this, file new, select oh, it's only did this. Dang it, that didn't work. This is why I didn't close. Let's select all of that and do this again. Save as, no, export. OBJ selected. Okay. I don't want materials though, so we're going to turn that off. Yes, I do want to replace that. If I have a, if I do that, no, I need that. I need that. I don't see an option for not using materials. I might have to load this up in Blender and resave it. All right, let's see what we got when we... That's better. All right, let's load that in. Let's say okay to that. What we're looking at is how many texture sets do we get when we open it up this way. So if I do bake mesh maps, I got too many texture sets. It made a texture set for each one. So we're going to redo this. I'm just going to open it up in Blender and save it out without materials. That's what we're going to do. So import, I think substance, right? Do light, smooth, there we go. And then export without materials. And then in here, I can just, you know what? I'm just going to do file new. I don't need to save this. I might want to burn the IDs. I don't know. We'll see how easy it is for me to tell where these are. I'm going to save a version with the IDs burnt in, or with the ID with the colors, and then we'll make an ID map. What am I doing? What am I doing? I think I'm good. Discard. Let's pop back over to here. Let's come into here. I want him to have a color. Let's switch it to that so I can actually see if it's doing anything. I don't see you doing anything because I clicked on the wrong button. And sleeve cuffs. I want to see the sleeve cuffs. And also, yeah, and the short version, I'm just not going to put the pattern on. That's good enough. I'm going to save you with materials now. Dress smooth, matte, just so I can tell the difference. Normally I say no materials for the one, but I didn't do that this time. And selection only, export. Let's pop over here. So for what I'm doing here, all I need to, basically, I'm just going to make black and white masks. So I don't need to, I'm not going to use I'm only going to bake the ID map, bake mesh maps. Did I not reopen this? File, new. I did, and it came in. Did you not save? Let's try saving you again and just make sure. I could have sworn I saved without the materials. I wonder if I screwed something up when I was doing the new. Select that one there. I see materials. I still see materials. Why do I see materials? Did I not? What the hell, Chris? Let's try this again. I must have, I did check them. Okay, check it off. Export. All right, let's try this. That's better. I will eventually get this done. There we go. We've only got one texture set. Excellent. I only want to bake the ID map based off of the, just so I can kind of see where the cuffs and the hem is. When I do ID maps, I like to do at least 4K for better fidelity. So we're going to use that one that says matte because that's got the colors on it. We're going to make these really small so I get better fidelity with the placement of the map. Okay, I'm going to bake that. Should be good. And let's go over to painting. I'm going to just drop in a fill layer with black. I love the way it always comes up in the back. I have no idea why it does that. All right, Marvelous Designer's in the way. If anybody's saying anything in chat, I'm not seeing it. Nope, it's just art. All right, we're going to use our ID map to identify where these are. So for that, I need another fill layer. I'm just going to make you a easy to spot obnoxious color. We'll put a color selection map on that, mask on that. And we'll just choose that. That would guess was a slightly different blue. All right, let's take a look at these assets that we're going to use with the pen tool. Actually, so I'm going to need a paint layer for that. So I can draw this along here. We're going to use this pen tool over here. This, which one is it? I think I can just use the regular pen tool. And then use basic. I think we want a basic. Urban grayscale. I'm not sure how this works. We're going to find out. So I have an alpha map. I have a start shape. I have a middle shape. I have an end shape. Ooh, cool. I don't think I need these because it should come all the way around. I'm going to take a look at downloads. Okay, these RAR files are the ones we got from ArtStation. So let's cut those and put it into a folder right here. Actually, I'm going to move you into Documents, Adobe, Substance, something. Adobe Substance Painter. I think it's in Assets. Do I have it in Assets? Do I have a folder in here called... I thought I had a cool folder in here somewhere. Substance Painter. Maybe it's in Materials. Where did I... Assets. I thought I stuck a folder in here for Materials. for my purchased assets, and now I'm not finding it. Dang. I'm so confused. Purchased assets right there in front of me. Doy. All right, I'm just going to put those. Actually, what is that called again? Dynamic ornament brush. There we go. Brushes. There we go. And then we'll just put this right there. And what I want is alphas. And I think PNGs will probably be good enough. So we'll just 7-zip extract. Let's take a look. Has it got a folder inside a folder? It doesn't. That one there. I didn't get the other one that I really wanted. Why is that? Was I just crazy? Is that just... Oh, all of these aren't included, I'm seeing. I'm going to use that one. All right. I need to make a opacity map. This also will work as a height map here. That's good. So we're going to open that up into Photoshop. I'm going to make an opacity map out of that. Open with. Why is it so hard for me to find open with? There we go. So I'm just going to, yeah, stop that. I'm not going to say contiguous. I think it's all contiguous anyhow, but anyhow, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do Control Shift I. You know what? I'm just going to put a new layer on here, just in case I screw fat finger some. It doesn't make any difference. What am I doing? I have copies of these in the original folder file, so I'm just going to white fill that. There we go. That's my opacity map. Save as a copy. That one right there. But this is going to be opacity. All right, let's see if we can get this set up. You know, it comes with substance folders. Maybe we should take a look at those. I can probably, I don't know. Let's take a look. Dynamic orient. Something in here. Substance painter dynamic. Let's open that up. Extract to here. And let's take a look at what we have in here. Are those... I'm going to open those up, load them in, and we'll see what we got. See how well that works. I might not need to have made that opacity map in the first place, but we'll see. I have a sneaking suspicion I might need that, though. Okay, File, Import Resources, Add Resources. Documents, Adobe, Substance Painter, Assets. I think it was in Materials. Was not in Materials. Am I looking right at it in here? Why is this so hard for me to find? What the hell? Adobe Substance purchased assets. Oh, it's right underneath the main folder. That's why I can't find it. Purchased assets. Am I at the right place? I'm in the wrong. There it is. Dynamic orient and this, and we'll just load all of these in. Do I want this for my entire library? I'm going to just do this for the... Yeah, I'm going to do this for the whole library. And I'm going to add something... What are you called again? Dynamic ornament brush. Let's select all of that. Ornament brush. Brushes. You all are presets. Yeah, okay. Import. All right, there we are. Which one did I want? I wanted, that one's kind of nice, but that's the one I wanted right there. This little flowery thing. All right, let's see how this goes. I'm going to start here and run off this way. And you are... Am I totally inside the sleeve there? I am. We're going to make a sharp corner out of that. Where's my sharp corner? There it is. And we're going to come back over here and turn sharp corner off. Back around this way. Up into here. Down around through here. And I want that to be a sharp corner. Okay, let's see how we're looking. I probably want to center this up so it runs through the middle a little bit better. I think I'm going to make that larger too. This looks nothing like the preview though, does it? Once I kind of get happy with this, let's see what we got here. This is just an alpha. I can tweak it. Is that using... That's using that grayscaled map. So I am going to load up my opacity. Did I bring that in already? I don't think I did. Because I want that to punch hard and white, and then I can use this one. So we're going to just swap these out for the ones we did. So this isn't really that helpful. It's better than nothing, I suppose. Anyhow, let's tweak the sizing of this. If I can just find... You know what? That might be okay. Maybe a little bit larger. I say 12. You know what? I think 12 is going to do it. Am I coming off the edge? No, I don't think so. I think that'll be good. Let's do file and import resource and add resources. And we're going to come over here to where we did that opacity map, right? Those two, I'm going to grab those two individually. I'm going to call those alphas. And we'll call you, it was dynamic ornament brushes, right? I should have selected both of these. I keep forgetting to do that. We're going to call you alphas. I'm going to put you away for now. Wow, I have to try those. They're kind of cool, those paths. I'm sorry I didn't see your comment earlier. If you said that like 3 days ago. The path tools, the new path tool is kind of cool. Except I still want it to work in TD view or 2D view. You can see the hoops I'm jumping through to get it to work right because it doesn't work because it only works in 3D. But it is the newer path brushes are kind of cool. A lot better than dicking around with their old paint rollers. Okay, I'm gonna add those. Import. Got those. Okay, so I'm gonna swap that out, I think, with this. That's a better alpha right there. And then I can use, so we're going to use color. I'm going to use a height map. And I'm going to use this one here that's got the gradient on it. So give it some cool dimension on that height map. So I'm going to say, and then I want an opacity map as well. So let's take a look at our opacity. Okay, you need an opacity of black on you. I need to set this so that I get black and white. I think I have to just put a map on that, right? And we'll come over to that path. I'm dialing this one path in, and then I'll do the cuffs. So did I hit opacity? I did, but I have to. Where are you getting the opacity information from? Why are you? Where is the opacity? There should be a channel for opacity right here, right? And yet, no, I turned it off again. Oh, there it is. There's the opacity, so I can drag that over to the opacity. And no, that doesn't work. These aren't working. I'm going to redo this pen tool, I think. Can I just rebuild my own from scratch? Yeah, I think I need to just rebuild my own from scratch. So can I just drag that in there? Do I have the opacities turned off? Turn that opacity on. Put that in the opacity channel. Okay, we need to rotate these brushes. Can I rotate the brushes? Is there an option here for rotate? Should be, I would think I have to come all the way to the top, and I'll work my way back down until I see something that says rotation. Oh, I'm missing it. Projection, ribbon, opacity, stroke, stretching, tiling, mode, start image. I don't need to, I do need to see middle. Do I want you in the middle? Yeah, I want that in the middle. Angle, there we go. Did that not do anything? No, that did not do anything. Oh, that was for the end. Do I have a rotation for the middle? Start, middle. Nope, that doesn't seem to do anything. You think that would do something? That doesn't do it. I mean, I can manually rotate these, but I'm going to call that a less than ideal solution, but I think I'm going to have to do that. And then re-swap them out, because I'm not seeing a way to just rotate. That would have been too easy. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to rotate them or re-bring them in. Can I just rotate in the File Explorer and redo that? I always forget how to do that. I have occasionally done the thing where you right-click on something and open it up in something, and I think we'll just do... You know what? I have Photoshop open. We'll just rotate it and resave them out in Photoshop. Image adjust. Rotate. Nope. It's a transform or something, right? Image rotation. There it is. 90 degrees. Alrighty. File. Save as a copy. I'll just overwrite that. And then image, just rotate. Or was I just looking at? Man, I was just there. There it is. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to save that and call it height map file. Save as a copy. All right, let's try this. So that, can I just delete you? I don't need you. This, I think I can just refresh it. Reload. And did that update down here? It did not. I think I have to do that, right? And then put that there. And then I'm going to reload in that the thing I'm calling height map. Dynamic. Ornament. Yeah, we're going to call you an alpha. And then, where's my height map? There we go. That's better. Is that working now? Yep, that's working now. All right, that's what I wanted there. So I'm going to export this out, and then I'm just going to use the opacity map. Actually, we're not done yet. We're still tweaking, right? So I am in the opacity. Let's go over to the material so I can see my red. I think I'm going to make that. Is that looking maybe a little bit larger? And I think I'm getting some bleed through over here, so I'll have to make a tweak. I think that is, what is that called? It's right here, projected depth. Right, there we go. That got rid of that. So we tweaked the projection depth so it doesn't cast onto the sleeve. And I think I'm going to maybe, if we say 12, we say 14. Ideally, I get better at this the more I do it. All right, I think that's looking good. And then in the two maps I really want is I want the height map. So I'm going to need something in the background here, aren't I? You know, I have something in the background. let's say height on that and set that to black. Oh, hold on a second. All right, I'm going to take a short break. I'll be back. Sorry about that. Coming back. My camera's still black. There we go. Rotation not visible under the opacity. That's what I'm... No, I don't think that was it. I think it's just a janky implementation. I don't know. Maybe no. I don't know because I don't. Well, let's take a look. Let's go get the brush out here. There's my brush. There's the path. So I have the path selected. We have our tools. You know what? I would put rotation right there. That's where I would put it. I'm not sure if it's yeah, I'm not sure. Really can't figure this out. It's a little... I can flip the image. Oh, well, no, there it is. It's right there. Image orientation. Duh. Found it. Okay. So we can change the orientation right there. Image orientation. That's it. I'm so used to looking for the rotation tool, I totally missed it. Anywho, I don't... You know what? There's probably a height map there, but this stupid thing seldom shows it correctly in this view. I'm going to kind of assume that I've got a height map thing going on here. Since Twitch doesn't have that. Oh, you're stuck with the LOL. Oh, you got to do LOLs. I know, sorry. The Twitch has that emoji. Wait a minute. Twitch totally doesn't Twitch totally have an LOL emoji? Maybe, maybe not. What? Really? No, there was the laughing guy. Where is laughing guy? Now that I'm totally distracting myself. Not that. Where's my Twitch? Where's my emotes? I thought laughing guy was an LOL. Maybe not. Oh no, I don't have my favorites. I can't work without my favorites. No. That's one of the LOLs, I guess. Yeah, I was thinking of another one, but I don't know, is it underneath the Twitch Globals, right? I have it favored, but my favorites broke. Damn you, Twitch. Oh my god, look at all those hype train emotes that I never use. Oh hey, I got a membership to Zimzalabim. When did that happen? Those are the prime emotes. There's the global emotes. This guy. Oh, LUL, that's what it is, lol. Does that work if I just type in lol? No. It doesn't. Anyhow, what are we doing? I'm doing paths. I think I'm happy. I think I'm happy with how the sizing and everything's looking on that. So I'm going to do this on the sleeves. We're going to save that opacity. We're going to save that opacity map and use it as a mask. And then I'm also going to use the height map. And I think those are the only two, because if I have to, I can always make my other maps from there. So let's start. Let's put you over here. And where's my thing? My thing. I'm going the wrong way. There it is. It's good. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to escape. I need to click. I need to click on that. I need to do another click. I need to click on that again. That didn't stick onto the... Oops, I didn't want that. So I want you down into here. I swear, I always feel like I'm learning how to navigate every time I switch a program. All right, gonna bring you around like that. This model isn't exactly symmetrical, so I'm not going to use symmetry. In case somebody was wondering, dude, why don't you just use symmetry? What the hell is wrong with you? That's what's wrong with me. I'm going to tweak that a little bit. Pull you down a little in there. Just that, just a hair. That's probably going to be good. All right, let's do this over here. Same drill. Okay, hit escape. Click. I'm going to sharp point that. Click again. Unsharp point that. Make it a curve, smoothie curvy thing. And then bring this around like so. Connect that. All right, I'm going to move you just a little bit over that way. Okay, that got a little lost. And we'll just double check and make sure we don't have any weird gaps. That's looking fine. That's looking fine. So I'm going to export out my material sets. I just need, and I'm going to do this at 8K because I just want that much resolution. So I'm going to turn this off. Control Shift E. I'm going to use my 6-channel export with 8K. So there's a C Cox 6-channel. I'm going to do 8K on this one. I'm saving 4K maps out on the other side, but I just want the best fidelity in substance that I can get. At least that's my logic. So this is going to export out 6 maps, but I only want 2 of them. Oh, and I forgot to name this something. Oh, open output. So these, what was I saying? I'm going to cut those. I'm going to paste those out over into my folder somewhere. Probably somewhere near here. Do light, runtime. Oh, I'm leaning way too back. I forgot to lock my chair back in place. I was falling back out of the camera. Textures, do light. I'm going to paste those in here. Yes, we're going to overwrite that normal map. Okay, there's my black, there's my brown, there's my tan, there's my white. Okay, those are the starters. Although I think I might have to resave out the black and... No, I think this... Never mind. Okay, so I'm good with that. Over here, I don't need that. I do want the height map. I don't need metallicity normal or the roughness. And then there's the opacity that I can use as a mask. And we'll just take a look at this and see how... See, that looks nothing like that over there. And anyhow, that's the height map. We're good to go. All right. I'm going to just load these, and you know what? We're going to put this in the whip folder. And these will just be project resources. All right, I'm going to file, save as, trims, and then file, recent. We'll get this loaded up here. We're impatiently waiting. All right, there's the dress. Now I should be able to make I think we just do this as a paint layer, right? And I want this under right about here. And do I just mostly want the color? I think color and the height. Do I want to add a fabric-y? Maybe put a silk fabric on here instead? I'm going to turn that off. I don't know. Maybe we do it as a silk effect. I'm not going to use that. Where's the other silk? There it is, the Silk Duchess. So I'm going to just use that. I'm going to tweak the tiling on it. Somewhere in here was the tiling. There it is. Like so. So that should give me this actually will generate metallic. So it'll be a little metallic where everything else isn't. Dum dum dum. So I have to save, and the height map and the normal maps are going to be a little bit different. Okay, now we're going to mask this off. So I'm going to add a black mask. Is that how I'm doing that? Did I not add a black mask? I did not need you. And then we're going to put a paint layer in that. Add a paint. Let's import in those two maps. What am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah. Import resource. There we go. Add resources. It's in the whip folder. It is these two right here. I'm just gonna select both of them this time. We're gonna call you alphas, and we're just gonna need this for this project. And import those. And then this is the mask, which means I did not want a paint layer there. I wanted a fill layer. So I'm going to get rid of that. Select you. Come over here and say add a fill. There we go. And then I can take you and I think I can put you like that. And there we go. I got my pattern. And I think I'm going to add you to I'm going to swap out the height map on here. Am I using a height map? I'm not even using a height map. I'm using a height map now. Where's my height map? I don't see it. Is it over here? Nope. Channel mapping? I don't get an option. It's buried in this thing somewhere where I can't get at it. Maybe I want the other silk. Maybe I have better luck with that one because of the way this one's built. This one right here, generic silk. Let's try that. Okay, do I get a height map? I got a height map here, so I get a map for that, or I do not get a map for that either. I think I'm just going to need to add another layer with a height map on it. So I'm going to use this one for the roughness, the metallicity, and the color. We'll take those off. Then I'm going to put another fill layer. And this one I'm just going to use, and we're going to mask that off for the height map. So I just want a height map for that one. Now I can use that. Oh no, I lost it. And I can no longer see my imported alpha. Dang it. And I forget what that was called. I think it actually said Seacox on it. Oops. I thought it was in here. Are you my alphas? You're not my alphas. Are you my alphas? You're my alphas. Okay, there we go. That's why I can't find it. There it is. There we go. I got my height map popping now. And I'm also going to mix a normal map in here. We'll just put a normal map filter on there. Height to normal, slacker. So that our normal map now is also showing the signs that. Only I got to dial that back because I forget the default is so freaking strong on that. All right, probably good for those. Silk height, I'm going to group these two together. Trim. Okay. Now comes color decisions. So do I want a color with the yellow? Maybe not. Maybe. Contemplating. I'll come back to that. I do know I'm definitely going to want one for the blue and the green. So the green I want to do. I think I want to do a yellow on the green. I think I'm going to go with that. And then we can match that with a brown. Oh yeah, and I want to change the threads. We're going to have belt options for these as well. I got to always remember to change the threads though. That always tends to get away from me. I kind of like that though. That's kind of, you know what? We're going to make this yellow kind of match that. So I'm going to crank and then we'll tweak the hue a little bit so it's a little more yellow. Accent, oops, I think right in there looks good. Maybe tweak the saturation. Maybe right about in there. And that'll be the green. And I need the 6 colors for this. And this will be, I'm going to call them trims. 6 channels, there we go. Was I doing, no, I'm doing 4K on these. Okay. I'm only doing 8K with the displacement map. All right, open output directory. I'm going to rename. So I don't think, I want to take a look at that. I want to see if there's anything on the trim here that I can see. I don't see anything there. Okay, so I don't need that. That roughness has got I see a difference in that. Let's double check the normal map. We should see something on the edge, right? Yep, okay, that's good. So I'm going to rename these. Do light. And I'm going to call that do light trim so I can tell this the difference between this one and the base one. Okay, apply that. This I don't need to differentiate. I can just call that green. Should be good enough. All right. Control X. Over here somewhere. There it is. Control V. I think I'm going to do some tweaking over here. All right. Moving along. Trim. You know what? I'm going to put that right there for now and make a duplicate of that. Actually, I'm going to duplicate that and 2 more times at least. And I can just do it by grabbing both of these and duplicating them at the same time. I'm going to put that inside the green. So I can do that. And I'm going to take you and put you into the yellow. You into the blue. And you into the red. Bring the red alive. I kind of like that, except I think I'm going to make this a little more gold on the red. So, where did it go? It's right there in front of me. Doy. Right there. I want that. And we're going to just make that a little gold. Just slide that back towards the orange a little bit. And maybe bring it in there. Looking good. All right, save that. And I just need the color map for this one. And we're going to call that one red. As soon as this finishes doing its thing, there we go. All right. Turn that off, turn that on. Adjust this to be maybe a light blue is what I'm thinking here. Real light blue, almost white, but shading over to the blue side. And you know what? I think I'm going to actually make that a proper silver. Actually, I'm getting some of the silkiness in here. Never mind. That's probably good enough. There's my blue. Oh no, I forgot to change the thread color. I'll have to go back and redo the red. I'll just slide that a little more towards the orange. I should duplicate these as well. Oh well. C'est la vie. There we go. Looks good. Do I want to just... There. All right. Control-Shift-E. Go over here. You know what? I don't need you anymore because I'm updating you with this one. Okay, now we're ready to turn that off. Come back here and change that. Somewhere right about in there. Desaturate. Make it a little lighter. Like so, I think might be good. Probably not. I'm calling that blue. Blue is done. I'm not getting to the buttons today, am I? I'm probably going to get most of the textures set up. And then what I'm going to do is later on I'll turn on the dirt and save out the worn versions of them. Okay, so that was blue. Moving on to yellow. I think I'm just going to make that guess we'll make that white. In Chris's world, white is almost always, you know what, we'll just make that a really light yellow. Right about in there. I think that's too subtle. It looks a little weird. I think it's just the shading. You know, I'm not liking the trim. Maybe if we make it dark. Maybe if we make that green. Or maybe brown. I think I'll try brown. I don't know. Let's go with that. I'm just going to call that yellow. Oops. Cancel, cancel, cancel. I forgot to tweak the stitch color again. The white's not bad, but I think we're going to shade that over to match the brown on the whatchamacallit. So I need to take you and make you somewhere around right about there. And then we just make you darker and a little less saturated. You become the brown. Something like that. Pop over here. I moved my green already, didn't I? Yep. I'm not sure I like the brown. I may not have trim on this one. And then I want to kind of do some pattern pieces. So I'm going to leave this activated, only I think I'm going to turn off the trim on that. Then I'm going to put a fill layer in here. And I want this, but not on this. And I don't think for these, I don't really care much about, you know what, I'm going to, yeah. So we're going to look for patterns and see what strikes me. I want something a little mystical, maybe. And I kind of think they're towards the back, wizardly or something. I'm going to give this a chance to kind of catch up to us. Oh no, I'm running out of coffee. That's okay. We got 20 minutes to kind of look at maybe 4 more pattern. I want maybe something mystical and something floral. You know what? That looks nice and floral. I'm at floral already, so oop. Tile you. I know, I just punch numbers in until I'm happy with how it looks. Ah, close enough. I'm going to duplicate that. We'll pick the next one. Let's hide you. Let's come over here. Let's keep working. All right, now we got our mystic shit. Oh, you know, that's almost, except it's got constellation lines. That looks too, I liked that except for the weird little constellation lines. So close and yet so far. No, I don't like the striping in that. What about you? Maybe if we tile that up. Yeah, it's not quite singing to me. That's too noisy. That looks almost too regular. Yeah, the I'm not liking that. That I kind of like. What about you? Ooh, maybe the stars. Ooh, there we go. That's it. Can I pop that though with a? I think that'll be fine. Do I want to tile that or anything? No, I don't think so. What I got? I got one floral and one mystic. Let's duplicate this. Doop, doop, doop. All right, let's see if we find anything else that looks cool, mystical. And I might swap that out for something. Oh, I don't like those lines. I don't know what you are. No, you're too geometric. I kind of like that, only I wish it was a little sparser. That looks, because the white with the blue makes me think of winter. And I've already got one, and that's got the lines. And that's too similar. Maybe, so there's these batiks. So maybe I can find something funky in here. Do I want tropical? I don't think so. And I'm not sure I want harsh lines like that. I don't want real geometric patterns in here. Maybe there, I think I got some sparkly stuff, somewhat sparkly stuff, so maybe there's a pattern in there that might look okay. There's the punk stuff. These things, maybe one of these, something like that, maybe. That's actually a leopard print. I don't think I want a leopard print, and those are stripes. I'm close. Maybe, you know what? I kind of like that. Although I might swap it out for another one. And I still want another floral. Nah, I don't think so. Oh, what was that? I kind of like that. It looked better from a distance. That might do. I'm leaning towards that. Do I like the purple? You know, that purple looks kind of... No, I'm going to stick with that. And then I need something a little more florally, flowery. I always love that one, but that's not... I don't really want to go tropic here. Maybe not that. I'm going to try to speed through these little... So what do I got? I got a green and gold. I've got a dark blue. I've got kind of a light blue. So maybe pink. Nope. If that was pink and white, I might go with it. I want to like maybe a pink and a white. And there's a pink and a white that I really like. Maybe lavenderish. No, I don't like the circles. And I need to make a copy of this, by the way. I forgot to duplicate that. Nope, that was the wrong thing. That wasn't duplicate. That was remove. That's a duplicate. I like that, actually. All right, I think that's it. I think I'm going to go with those. And so the question is, do I want to trim on these? Maybe some of them. is this might look good if we used that color. Maybe if I put a solid in here, and then, so I have an idea. Let's try, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add another fill layer in here, and we're gonna put that right behind this trim, and that's gonna be, we're gonna just back out the whole thing and take the pattern off of these. So I'm gonna put a fill layer in here, and I'm gonna put, you know, I'm just gonna give it a obnoxious color so we can easily see it for right now. We're gonna put that behind that, and then I'm gonna put a mask with a color selector. I want to put that right there, and also on the cuffs. And then the idea is I'm going to make this kind of this dark color and then do this with this light color. Yeah, that's the ticket. So let's take you. And then we're just going to sample light color. And take you. Sample. Try to get one of the dark colors in here. So it kind of looks like that. Yep, we're doing that. That's it, totally doing that. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this. And we're going to put one of these on each of these patterns. So is it Shift D? Did that not work? Of course that didn't work. Why would that work? Control D, that's what I was thinking. I wasn't actually, but Control D, Control D, Control D. There we go. Let's put you in front of that one. Let's put you in front of that one. Let's put you in front of that one. There we go. And I'm going to just save the color map for this, and I'm going to call that lime. Light green. We're going to call you light green. Floral. Floral 01. Control Shift T. Floral 01. There we go. We should be able to get some of these on the dress before we call it a day. So pop over here. Floral 01 is good. And turn that off, turn that off. Open that up and then match the colors here to what we have inside here. So my satin's going to become that light color, which is actually in this case basically white, basically. And then you are going to be maybe a blue like that. There we go. I'm going to call that Mystic 1. Oh, I forgot to change the stitching on this stuff. Dang it. You know what? I'm going to tweak the stitching so we're just kind of darkening it. So I'm going to switch the stitching to be black, and then I'm just going to kind of multiply it on top. I think is what we'll do. Leather stitches. Dum dum dum. Let's desaturate that. Let's just make it black. Let's do the base color as multiply, and we'll dial that back a little bit. So I'm just going to do it like that. So all that stitching is just going to be a little bit darker than the color underneath it. Anyhow, Control Shift E. Yayos. All right, this is Mystico 1. All right, we're going to resave out. Floral 01. So come over here and get rid of that. There we go. I got 2 more to export. Then we'll throw it onto the outfit it in whatchamacallit and do a quick render before we call it a day. And what am I doing? Floral 01 underscore. I think that's fine. Okay, trim off. Okay, we're gonna set this one to be yellow and blue. That one right there. You're my light color, so you're gonna be the yellow. And actually, this should be blue and yellow. We'll flip it. And then that becomes the blue. So it contrasts. So it gives me a nice contrast edge. Ooh, that looks magic. Control Shift E. What's going on with my belt? Actually, that's kind of an interesting effect on the belt. How did I get that to also include? You know what? My color mask is probably really close. You know, that color is really close to that color. I think we can tweak this a little bit. That's better. I wonder how much. Did that get screwy with these? That did get screwy with these. I would actually want to flip those if I was going to do it that way. It's kind of interesting. I'm probably going to resave these later. Anyhow, what am I doing? I'm back at this. All right, that's good. This is Mystic 2. Mystic. Pop over here. Mystic 02 underscore is good. Round back to here. All right, one more, and then I'm going to throw it on there. That's right, she'll be a wizard. She turned me into a newt. I got better. Off. Open that up. So this is the one of these. I forget which one it was. Was this it? Was this the one? I think this was the one that had the no, that wasn't it. That was it. This is the one I needed to set that off a little bit like that. And oh, and I'm hiding. Oh yeah, I gotta turn that on. There we go. So this is gonna be gold and that's gonna be green. So this is gonna be green. That's gonna be gold. I might punch that up. We'll see. No, I don't like that. I'm gonna flip them the other way. Is it gonna be green? That's too dark. Let's try something not quite. That's gonna be green, and that's gonna be gold. It's kind of a noisy pattern, but I think I like that better. I think that's going to work. I think that's going to be fine. You know what? I'm going to make you green. I have a green. I can make that. Yeah, I'm going to leave that like that. Never mind. I might not even use that on the belt at all in the final product. Did I run out of paisley prints? No. I have plenty of paisleys. We'll do a paisley later for art. How's that? I'll try to remember to do one on Monday. Did I export? I'm going to name this. We're going to move it over to the folder. We're going to get these thrown onto the close and call it a day. There it is. I want to call that Floral 02. I'm the whiz. Whee! Floral 02, Ot2, Floral Ot2. I think I'm good. Control X that. Pop over to here and Control V, and it goes. And I'm going to put that over there. We're going to do some dragging and some dropping. I'm going to hit the save on here. All right, I've got about half the textures done. I think we're in a good position here. Where is... There's Daz. There's my Daz. Hello, Daz. So I am going to put you right there. Let's do that. All right, so what I would need is... There's the trims, right? The trims. So I have this trim normal. I'm going to put you there. I don't have a normal map in here. Dang, dog. What's wrong with you? I'm going to use you as my roughness channel. I have a metallicity channel. That can go right there. We have a height channel. You know what? I need to tweak this. I'll tweak it later. It needs to be a little more bumpy, I think. It's too solid. I'm going to screen this on top of the bump map that we did before, I think. What else? I got my bump. I got my normal map. Our cutout opacity is good. My displacement map is already good. I just need a color. I think I'll go with the Floral 02. Where's Floral 02? Where did you go? Did I not save Floral 02? Oh, there it is. It's right there. Oh, it's because the gold color ended up being the background. I was looking for something that was green. So did that not? That didn't drop. Let's try that again. And then I'm going to use a tan belt. And I'm going to start this by copying that, and then come over here and pasting that in. And I'm just going to update that with the tan belt color, I think. And we'll see how that looks. I'm thinking something like that. Let's take a quick render and call it a day. Control R. And with that, it's a little past 4, so we're going to call it a day here. Hey, if you're on YouTube, thank you. Jay says he won't be twitching today, though. Oh, that damn Jay. Slacker. Yeah, that's right. Unfollow, unsubscribe, unlike. Where did that background come from? He is mostly live on the YouTube. Yeah. Anyhow, I think I made some nice progress on these textures today. I think I've got decent set going on here. I was working on the rogue outfit, but I think I'm going to finish this one up first. This is going fairly easy. Although those sleeves, oh, those sleeves, such a pain in the butt. Hey, Leo, how are you doing? Thanks, man. And then we still have to add buttons. I still have to add buttons, and that belt will come apart. But I think we're heading in the right direction here. Alrighty, we're going to call it a day here. Hey, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. That would be awesome. If you're on Twitch, feel free to stick around for the raid. We're going to see which one of our friends are on and maybe go over. Our good friend Toilet After Dark tends to stream a lot on Saturdays, so maybe we'll go over and catch Toilet. Hey, I'm going to shout out Charles. He's probably lurking somewhere. Doesn't stream anymore, but feel free to go catch him on his Discord. Napsmore, thank you for all the work making beautiful things. Hey, thanks for being here, Napsmore. I always appreciate it, man. Oh, brain stopped. What are we doing? We're on Twitch. I'm going to show more. We're scrolling down to the bottom of my follow list, and then we're going to work our way back up and see if I've got anybody I want to raid on Twitch. Oh, and it is Saturday, so that means tonight it's the Saturday Night Social. It's an art share, it's a Discord chat, it's an old cartoon. Feel free to join us. If you want to share your stuff, feel free to add it to the gallery in the Discord. So you can join the Discord there if you haven't already. Okay, we're scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up. I'll stop that. That gets annoying really fast. I'm not seeing any. There's Taddy. All right, we're going to go and hang out with Taddy. Taddy is doing art. Hey, I sell stuff at Daz. Feel free to buy. There you go. Check out my store at Daz if you can. That would be awesome. And with that, we're going to go over and say hi to our good friend Taddy Bidet, the artist formerly known as Toilet After Dark. There we go. And let's do this. We have raid calls. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to use that one. If you are a subscriber, you are awesome and you get to use the sub raid call. There we go. Let's start this. And I'm sure people are saying stuff and I'm totally missing it. Slash raid. I'm going to copy and paste because I can't spell bidet. That's how weak I am. Control V. Alrighty. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. If I don't see you tonight, I hope you have a good rest of a Saturday or Sunday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. And hasta la vista, baby.